Hello everyone, it's me, MrSneakyy, and we're going to go over my reasons why you guys should be playing Call of Dragons in the global release on the 28th of March, which is only a few days away, less than a week of the recording. So stay tuned for everything and all the juicy tips and tricks as well on why you should be playing this game right now on launch. Hello everyone, so yes, we're going to be going over why you guys should be playing Call of Dragons and give it honestly a true chance and fair chance when you play it, because honestly, truly, this game is so much fun to play, it's so good, and it is definitely an upgrade and step up from other games that are in the genre, and especially the older game Rise of Kingdoms that Lilith did produce. But this is obviously Farlight Studios, one of the more smaller teams that have worked together to start this up and see how the project works. But this project has worked so beautifully so far, and I'm going to give you the reasons why obviously today in this video. So if you do enjoy my content, guys, and you want to watch more guides, more live commentaries, as well as all the juicy tips and tricks in the game, subscribe, like and comment below to the channel. And obviously I am a Call of Dragons content creator. It's official. It is official, guys. So let's try and keep the momentum up and keep progressing the channel and the community to grow, so one day we can have our own massive super server with all of you guys, the subscribers, in, and we can all have a massive fun time, right? So let's go over some of the reasons why you should be playing this game in obviously 2023 when it comes live on March 28th, right? So the way the game works, a nice little opening for all those guys that don't know about the game or they're looking at it for the first time right here. But really, the way the game works is very similar to Rise of Kingdoms, where you are building your city, you're upgrading your city, you've got your research tech here, and you're trying to obviously unlock those juicy T5 units as well as those T4 and T3. So it works in the same way. It only goes up to T5, as you can see, but we do have some additional units which we're gonna go over later on, right? So it has that very simple premise: build your city, level up your heroes, get your heroes up in the skills as you do, and then you fight, right? But the big key difference between Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons is the season reset, right? And this is the one thing that everyone, when they first hear it and they first try and wrap their head around it, they get really like thrown off, and they really don't like the idea of it. But the way the game works is really simple. So within a season, you're gonna have, when you first start your account, you're in the first ever season, right? You pick your starting faction, you're gonna start leveling up, and you're gonna start progressing your characters that you enjoy playing in that season, obviously up. Or if you're following a guide, you're going to be following the guide and leveling those guide heroes up, right? So for example, you can see I've got a Bakar here, and this is from season 1. And Bakar is still 4 stars. He's maxed out in all of his skills, but he's just level 1. And the reason is because at the end of every season, all the heroes you've leveled up during that time, their XP goes from wherever it was, even if you were level 60, all the way back down to 0. Obviously your skills stay the same, your star level from investments stay, so you don't have to worry about any of those investments you've already done. It's just using the march. And the beauty of doing that is actually quite a few things. Obviously you might think, oh, it's not great, you know, I've just put a load of effort into him. But you got to think, the whole game, and one thing you'll realize throughout the theme of this video, is the game rewards all the activity players, right? If you're an active player and you're really happy and enjoying the game and doing the stuff in the game, you're going to get rewarded way more than anyone else. Even if you're a spender, if you're a spender, but there's a spender that's really active, he's going to have a massive edge still, just because of how the game works with activity. So every day, as you guys know, you're going to have your CP, and you obviously want to be using your CP to empty out and level up those heroes. And then when you do, and say you've got to like my season right now, I'm using archers and mages, right? And once I've done this season, I've already thought to myself, next season, since I've been, you know, really heavily on these guys, I might start working on my cavalry units, right? So my cavalry are in a decent place, but if I could work on them and try and level these guys up so they're maybe at like 5-1-5-5 or like 5-1-5-1, you know, something like that in that regards, it'd be really nice because it means I've got a nice stable cavalry marchers to use and I've got some other marchers to use, right? And the beauty of that and the beneficial of me being able to do this is because of season reset. So these guys are leveling up passively throughout the season because I need them, right? For dragon trials, I need them for other things as well as sometimes open field. But when the season resets next season, I might prioritize and put my XP bucks more into these heroes. So it gives you guys every season a flexible choice, you know. You're able to play, for example, I played infantry season 1, season 2 I played mages, and now in this season I've played way more archers. Obviously in season 2 I'd played a little bit of archers and I was experimenting and learning a lot about them, and I've taken that experience and put it into this season. So that's what you can do, and it's a really fun mechanic to do. And the thing is, what you got to remember is season reset happens for everyone. So even if there's a whale in the kingdom, if he's not active enough and the season reset happens and you guys start, you know, leveling up your heroes, you start doing that, and he's 7-8 days behind, he's still 7 or 8 days behind in his XP, so he's gonna have to catch up somehow, somewhere in the future, right? So that is one of the mechanics of the game. I hope you understand like Call of Dragons as a whole. It is very similar to Rise of Kingdoms in, like I said, it's a city building game. It has open field combat. You have PvE challenges to do. And then obviously you have the season reset. So that is like the key difference of Call of Dragons versus like Rise of Kingdoms. I hope you like understand that explanation, right? So when we go into the combat of the game, the combat is actually split up into artifacts. That's on screen right now. Artifacts is a really good mechanic in the game. It means these are equipable artifacts or equipment, if you want to call it like that, to your marchers, but your marchers are only able to have one of these. And because you're only allowed to have one of these, you feel like each one of these artifacts have a really powerful ability, right? And they're worth something, right? And I'm going to showcase this in a moment. Let me just do this smoothest of transitions like always, guys. So right here is just some obviously basic quick gameplay on patrols, right? So we've got the range combat and the melee combat. They've been intercepted by the cavalry units, and as you can see, we've got these triggers now. These are your artifacts. When I press E, this is my stun. And as you can see, it's a massive AoE stun, and it hits the target and it hits them. As you can see now, this is Viola's bow, and Viola's bow requires you to aim it, and it's a really cool mechanic that you have to aim these skills. And when you aim and fire, as you can see, it responds instantly when you click. Nice bit of damage, and obviously it has a cool effect. Same with even the Phoenix Eye. You have to aim these abilities and then click, and then you'll see it drops down, right? So this is a really fun way in open field. When you're watching any of my live commentaries, you see these speech bubbles appear, and you know someone's just triggered an artifact. And if you're knowledgeable enough, like I'm trying to be, you know what each of these speech bubbles are to what ability in the game. And it's a really fun and fast atmosphere when it comes to artifact and obviously open field gameplay. So obviously we've seen a little bit of basic bits there, so I'm going to, again, let's go into some open field, and I'm going to show you guys what I think of the open field and why you should be playing Call of Dragons again. If you want open field PvP, this is the game for you. I'm telling you now, this will be the game for you. So let's move on to the PvP side on the open field, so you can see what that actually looks like compared to obviously just a patrol, and you'll see the big key differences when we go into that in depth. So here's just a little bit of a quick crazy skirmish on open field, right, just so you can see what it's like. So you can see we've got range units here. These are flying as well. So in the game, as I teased a little bit earlier, you do have flying units. Flying units are doing what they state. They can fly over this terrain, while other units would have to, you know, walk all the way around and find the ramp to go down. So you do get a big mobility, you know, increase if you use the flying units, right? These are cavalry units, like always. Cavalry units are the same in most games. They run really fast, they get at you, and the cool thing about this game with cavalry units is now with their new mechanic of like this charge mechanic they have, when they run at you and they hit their target, they instantly gain 1000 rage, just instantly in the start of combat. So it's a really fun way for you to play cavalry with certain artifacts that you're gonna see on screen. As well, you got archers here, and there's mages that are going to be used for obviously ranged combat as well. So those flying units you saw earlier were obviously flying mage units, so they were able to hit so far away. And this is like just obviously some of the basics of the combat you're going to see right now. I'm going to do another transition into the more craziness, right? Some crazy open field fight that you guys would expect to be in, hopefully, in the future when you do play the game. So let's move on to the craziness, and so you can see how the basic bits there on screen transitions into like open field war. So here we are with some absolute crazy open field that you're going to see on screen, showcasing a lot of the artifacts as well as open field gameplay. And then this was obviously, as you can see on screen, back in February. It's a bit of old footage that was being used, but today's game has so many extra mechanics for cavalry and infantry that's been implemented to give them a bit more characteristics. So like cavalry now can gain rage, you have your infantry units that gain rampage. That means when they run towards a target they take less damage, so it gives them so much more personality, as you're going to see on screen here. And the cool thing with the open field combat system in the game is a very, very fun open field experience, as you're going to see right here, where everyone is, even though when they're running away, they're still able to work together and like almost deal damage and run away, deal damage and run away, almost kiting as a mechanic in a game similar to like League of Legends, right? So I hope you guys do enjoy the open field gameplays, and if you enjoy open field, especially PvP, this is definitely going to be one of those games that you must be playing, because you're going to be enjoying how crazy some of these fights get. As you can see there quickly on the screen, some flying combat on top of that rock, trying to flank down onto the cavalry that's been surrounded there, and as you can see, this swarm of the Murderball moving through it to the enemies. So let's move on to the next reason why you should be playing Call of Dragons. So now we're going to go over the nice and final bits, and what I would suggest is, for me, my favourite part of the game. I'm not going to deny it. For me, I love this part of the game. It makes my brain just get so excited every single time when we do one, and that is the Behemoth raids, guys. The Behemoth raids in this game are super fun. Even when you complete them multiple times, each time you complete it, something might go wrong with an alliance member or a few, and it obviously causes a little bit of stress and that, but it is so fun to play. Watching this bear charge at you and you're having to dodge it, all of the 80 or 70, 60 members, whatever raid you're in, working together as one team to focus on an objective to kill it first as well is so good. You get a great amount of rewards from killing Behemoths, and that is one thing why you should be playing it, right? If you're wondering for a free-to-play player how are the rewards in the game gives you so many rewards in the availability pool. So you can gain this participation reward 3 times, and that's because you can gain 3 different unique buffs basically on the map, and by doing that you're going to be able to gain multiple gems, right? So that's nearly 2400 gems for killing just the dire bear 3 times. And if you're good and you've got some decent talent builds and you've been working on your heroes, you do get the damage ranking numbers. Some people might say this is down to whales, but you got to remember, if you're in an alliance that isn't really in a whale alliance, and you're all very fairly worth, equal in power, and you're in a very fairly equal, server compared to some other servers that might be big spending servers, right? You're gonna have a very fair time, and you're gonna have a very enjoyable time trying to get those damage numbers, right? And you're trying to get that DPS ranking and working together to do so. And the cool thing with these behemoths is when you go into your behemoth page, they introduce these elite raids. The elite raid system is a beautiful system they've added in. I can't believe they did it. It was something out of complete shock, and I'm glad they did. It's such a great addition to the game. So the way this works is elite raids you can trigger, and you've got to complete it within this time limit. So you can see 6 minutes and 30, and if you complete it within 6 minutes 30 and you're the first alliance within the server to do it, you get this frame. And it's such a really fun thing to do, because no matter what, you always get these rewards, as you can see here, for completing the elite raid. Obviously these elite raid rewards change the further further down you get. So like this Hydra one, you can see at the moment we're gonna gain Diabear soon, so we can see that one again. But you see these rewards go up, and the timer is, as it states here, for 6:30, and you get the Hydra one. But it gives you that little bit of competitiveness between the alliances as well as the server. Even if you're a friendly server, you guys could be competing against each other to see who can get each one of these frames each season, and it's a very fun and social environment. So honestly guys, Behemoths and the rewards in this game is nuts, right? Just nuts. And since I'm mentioning the parts of the rewards, we'll just briefly go over it. You can get a load of rewards. Like I said, the Behemoths gives you a massive chunk of gems. You can also farm gems here. You get 1,000 gems you can farm per day. But you can also get gems from scouting. You can also get gems from completing events. You can also gain gems from killing patrols. You also get gems from these alliance chests here, as you can see. We're going to go through. I see we've got some gems just there, and they're the wooden ones, right? We're not even going through any of the crazy ones, right? And then you can just keep gaining gems, as you can see, through your alliances. You can gain gems through your even illustrations from scouting. So what I mean by that is, when you scout and you keep hitting the scout button, then you look at the villagers, you can go to your world book or your tales, and you can get gems for watching the story of Call of Dragons and learning what the story is. And also you get it for hitting these, events. These are events that happen in the game. So these are times when 3 of these heroes all talk to each other within the city, and when they do, you get some gems for doing it. You can go to illustrations, and any of these creatures you found, they give you gems. Any of the letters here give you gems as well. I believe any of the anecdotes give you gems as well as the artifacts, I believe. So there's a load of ways for free-to-play players to honestly get those juicy gems that you do obviously want to spin the wheel and to do other events in the game, right? So I hope you enjoyed it so far. That is the Behemoths and the rewards section of the video. I'm going to move on now just to finish off with, again, the events. Events, there's everything in the game. Realistically, it's the same if you've played Rise of Kingdoms. You've got Strongest Lord, or the I forgot what it's called in Rise of Kingdoms now, because it's been such a long time since I've played it, and I've kind of tried to wipe my memory from Rock. But we have like Dispel Darkness. This is the generic one for killing patrols. You've got generic ones for tech power. You have also ones for against players, so you can gain heads and try and gain power through just tech or through military that way, or building. This is the spin the wheel event for your artifacts, for the new one, which is the Infernal Flame. We can also see again the rankings on who killed what behemoth first in the world or in the server. And there's also the new event, Trial of Light. There's the Crucible of Light, or the Crucible of Courage, should I say. So there's loads of events that are in the game. They're going to be adding more into the game, but that is so far everything what I believe and why you should be playing Call of Dragons, right? There's going to be a little bit of a section right now. At the end, I'm going to just finish on what the game doesn't have, but what I hope it does obviously include later on in the future. So stay tuned for that with another nice, smooth transition, guys. Okay, so yes, we're going to go over the bits that the game doesn't have, right? So obviously I've braved on, and I'm a very fair channel. I do want to give you guys a very fair and open view of the game. It is a very free-to-play. It's the best free-to-play friendly game I've seen so far. That's why I'm even deciding to do the free-to-play account, just to show you guys why it is. And I'm just not just, you know, I'm going to say and do what I preach, you know. But the thing with the game is, at the moment, obviously things with seasons are, you do have the merge mechanic, right? And some people might not like the merge mechanic, but the way that works is, in this first season, you obviously load in your server, you play all the way through, and then once the server or the season is ended, you then go through a little cooldown period, and then this merge happens where 4 servers merge into one super server. And then you're on New Game Plus, as you can see when you go onto even the server listings here on the account. So if we go to settings and then click your character and create a new one, this is everyone currently in the game, but me and the new ones from servers 7, 8, 9 and 10, they're in New Game Plus. So this is our super server services, right? So I hope you guys understand that, and this is what you're going to be in eventually, right? You're going to be moving into a super server, and then we don't know what happens, because that's what we're at right now. We don't know if there's going to be a super server versus super server format. We can assume so. We can hopefully, you know, cross our fingers, and they might implement something like that in the game. They're going to obviously implement like an Ark of Osiris or some sort of alliance versus alliance event, since it's very key in every game like this. So obviously that's not in the game right now, but it's something to be looking forward to. So even right now, as a free-to-play player or someone new looking at the game, you can start playing, you can start getting that grind on, you can start enjoying the game, and then when that alliance bit comes out, where it's like alliance versus alliance, you're already ready to go. You're not making a new account, you're not powering up and trying to catch up to everyone to play that and, you know, join the fun. You're already there, right? And that is like what I'm going to try and keep preaching to you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope you guys understood everything with it. As you can see, the season merge is the only like downside really you might not like about the game, or even the resetting of your heroes. But again, if you're an active player, every single one of these points I've just said to you guys, and every point throughout the video, even to do with the Behemoths, for an active player, it's just a dream, because you want to have things to do, and this game is making you do things, and it's always giving you a reward, and it's really good at giving you that reward, and it's really good at making you feel like you've earned that, right? And that's what you want. You want a bit of pride, you want a bit of sense of achievement with your account, and you want to be able to go, look at me, right? I'm only 17.3 mil power, but I have over 1 million merits. So when I go to the power rankings, yeah, I'm only ranked 400k, you know, but my personal merits, I'm in almost 225, you know, I'm absolute slaying, right? I'm beating so many players with my merits, right? So it's a really fun game, and as you can see, you can open field with free to play. It's very obvious you can. I know loads of players that are lower power than me but have very similar merits as well, just because they're actively fighting, right? So that's every reason and why you should be playing Call of Dragons in 2023 on March 28th, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know there's a lot of rambling, there's a load of points, but there's a lot to go over in the video. There's probably loads of that I've missed as well, why you should be playing it, and I'd love to hear the guys in the comment section below give you guys their reasons why they love playing the game. But for me, that is everything with the Openfield combat, the character customization with your artifacts. You even have obviously your talent pages and stuff like Rise of Kingdom. You have the beautiful, beautiful Openfield. The map looks beautiful. The UI is You know, even the surrounding has color, which is beautiful. You know, you've got these nice monuments here that you can look at and just appreciate the developers' 3D modeling skills, which is beautiful to see. So this game is honestly a really great pillar. It's a pillar in the community, in the gaming community, I think, because it promotes activity, it promotes creativity, and it promotes sociability, right? You want to be sociable because you want to be able to join an alliance and work together. You want to work with unions in alliances so you can fight together on the open field. And you want to be able to have this creative insight and see what you can do with these fun artifacts, as well as you can see, these beautiful wonders on screen. So with all that said, guys, I'm going to finish it right there, and that's going to be the end of the video. So stay safe, stay sneaky, guys, and peace out till the next one.